Hey everybody, this is S. Anthony Thomas. This is the S. Anthony Thomas Show. You know what? I had some other things I wanted to talk about, but I'll be honest with you. I just want to talk about how the internet can be the greatest thing in the world and the internet can also suck. Okay? The internet is great and it sucks at the same time. It's a fantastic tool. The internet itself is basically the water cooler for the world. And for anybody who's younger, when somebody says something is the water cooler for the world or the water cooler type moment, it's basically, when you would work in an office and everybody would go into the break room and you go to the water cooler to get a glass of water and you'd kind of stand there for a couple seconds drinking the water and discussing what happened during the course of the day, what happened in the newspaper, any kind of big topics. But now it's all on the internet. So if something amazing happens, something great happens, or something bad happens, it's almost like the entire planet is at the water cooler. And that's what I'm talking about as far as the internet is concerned. But I started to realize that I saw a video about propaganda. I'm obviously familiar with it. And I saw a video about how people are being controlled by what we see. And I realized that it's such a sneaky thing that you don't realize you've been changed, and that's why it's so dangerous to have all this information in some ways. Now, we do need the information. It's great to be informed. And I consider myself a pretty smart guy and a pretty nice guy. And there's certain things I would never do. Like I've never cheated on a woman. I've never killed anybody or anything bad like that. And I don't think that was something that I would do. Hopefully this doesn't come back to bite me. I understand that comedian, podcaster S. Anthony Thomas literally killed someone while cheating. And here's an episode from 10 years ago where he said he's never done either. That sick guy, he's disgusting. I don't want that to happen. So if future me ever decides to do that, you stink. Okay, back to what I was talking about. I was saying, the internet can be great and it can suck at the same time. And like I said, I could feel and I noticed that I had been changed by being on the internet as much as I am and for as long as I've been on the internet. See, the young people now, when they're on the internet, I know I'm sounding like an old guy when I say this, but they're on the internet now and they've never known a world without the internet. It's always been there. So they don't even realize, they've never actually been changed. They've been created by what they see on the internet. But I was an adult when the internet became something that everybody had. I was in my 20s and I remember as an adult what it was like before the internet. There was a point in time when I could be grossed out by things or weirded out by things or wish I hadn't seen something because it was going to haunt my dreams. Oh, no. I was hanging out with a friend of mine in California, and my friend who's listening, you know who I'm talking about. We were hanging out at this house. We were working on something on the computer, and he was looking up. We were talking about, hey, man, and if I get a dog, I wonder what kind of dog I'd get. And we were looking up dogs. Right? And we were having a discussion about which would be the best breed of dog. And we had narrowed it down to German Shepherds and Doberman Pinschers. And we were going through the pros and cons of both, right? And because we were looking for dogs, a lot of dog information popped up on the screen. And then all of a sudden, some stuff that neither one of us wanted to see popped up on the screen. Not going to get into it. I tried to keep this podcast clean, but ew. And then he realized, I better get this crap off the screen because the last thing you want to do is run across something that makes you go, blah, right? And have it on the screen for 15 minutes, right? If it grows you out so much, why was it on the screen for 15 minutes? So he very quickly got off of there. But even now, decades later, I can't unsee what I saw. It grossed me out. And whenever that picture would pop into my mind randomly, like if I saw a dog on the street, a Doberman Pinscher or a shepherd, a German shepherd, it would just be going from, hey, I love dogs, what great dogs. So all of a sudden, that memory, and it was grossing me out. And I didn't realize because that disgusting picture, those disgusting things that I saw were in my mind so often, I very slowly became desensitized to the grossness of the stuff that I saw. I still didn't like it, but it didn't haunt my dreams anymore. It was like seeing a car going down the street that you didn't like. I don't really like that type of car. And I didn't think much of it. I didn't realize I had become desensitized. Oh, no. It was a famous crime scene I'm not going to get into specifics, but everybody will know what I was talking about. It was a famous crime scene, and I spent a whole lot of time trying not to see that crime scene because it was a famous case, and I avoided it. Just the description of it made me vomit, made me sick to my stomach. Oh, that happened. Oh, God. Oh. It made me sick. And unfortunately, because there's so many disgusting sites on the internet, I was looking up something innocent, and all of a sudden, bam, the crime scene photos popped up, and when I realized what it was, I realized I didn't like it, and I thought it was disgusting, but it didn't gross me out. Why? Because the internet has the power to bombard you with so much information that it just kind of desensitizes you to it. Think about a boxer, right? Or a martial artist, a Thai boxer or somebody like that. Thai boxers will kick trees and kick these hard things to cause micro fractures in the bones in their legs. The bones rebuild themselves stronger, thicker, because that's what you do when you go to a gym. You work out, you tax your body, you have micro tears in your muscles, and the muscles build themselves back stronger. You work out, you do cardio, and all of a sudden you get new blood vessels, and because it feeds the new muscle, and you become stronger. You're basically beating yourself down to build yourself back up. You're basically, as the Thai boxer, kicking the tree and kicking you're desensitizing your leg, and after a while, the Thai boxer can kick through a baseball bat. I've seen that in person. After a while, the boxer getting hit in the stomach with that medicine ball 3 hours a day. Boom, 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 boom. Gotta tighten your ass. Bang, bang, bang. All of a sudden, that person could take a punch to the stomach that a regular person would vomit all over themselves. They become desensitized to the blows. The same way on the internet, you become desensitized to the grossness, to all the gross and disgusting crap you see. Now, there's some stuff that's so bad that you'll never, hopefully, never become desensitized to it, but you understand what I'm saying. But on the flip side, you can get incredible amounts of information that you want, information that you need. You can build a community with people who are just like you. You think you're alone, and then you start a group on the internet, and all of a sudden you think that nobody else understands you, and you notice after 6 months your group has 15,000 people in it, and a whole bunch of those people have understand you perfectly. You'll ask a question about something that happened to you, and you have nobody in your family that you can talk to. You feel weird going to a psychiatrist or a psychologist, which you should do if you have a problem, but you know what I'm saying. And all of a sudden, a whole bunch of people, oh, that happened to me too, and this is what I did. And then you go, you did that? Yeah. And it worked out. Oh, yes, it did. You tried the thing that they said. It works out for you too. You live in New Hampshire. This person lives in Australia. And you would have never run across that person. But because of the internet, you did run across that person. And you're glad you ran across that person because they understand you. And so does somebody in the UK, and so does somebody in Africa, and so does somebody in New Zealand, and so does somebody in the North Pole, and so does somebody in Florida, and so does somebody in France. All of a sudden, you go on a Zoom call with 15 people who had the same problem you had, and you help each other by solving the problems. You would have never met those people without the internet. That's part of the good thing about it. Immediate news stories, immediate videos from tragedies, and immediate videos from great things. You see wonderful videos of somebody losing weight. You see videos that are very, very funny, things you would have never seen before because that creator would not have had an outlet without the internet. You see dogs being reunited with their owners after a flood, or dogs being reunited with their owners who are overseas serving the country. You get to see a grandmother who's 114 years old. She has 85,000 grandkids. They're all over the world, and they all get an opportunity to say happy birthday to grandma who's in a nursing home, who is recently married to her younger boyfriend who's 90. Yeah. And how is that available? It's available because of the internet. So yes, the internet sucks and the internet's great at the same time. If I really think about it, the podcasts that I have, this one, the S. Anthony Thomas Show, my second podcast, and my original podcast that I still do, as Anthony Says, go check that out, please, as well. Subscribe to that one too. They wouldn't exist without the internet, because podcasting, as we know it now, the thing I've been doing for darn near 10 years, wouldn't exist without the internet. I wouldn't have all these cool people around the world listening to my voice right now if it wasn't for the internet. The ideas that you people like that I speak about in front of you, people in Thailand listen to this thing. People in other countries listen to this thing, and I'm just some chump in the northeast corner of the country sitting in the Garden State talking about weird crap. And for some reason I found a whole bunch of really cool people, and that means you, who somehow come back all the time, and I really appreciate that you do that, to listen to some weirdo who's in the Garden State, that weirdo being me. And they seem to like this crap. I mean, this great stuff. Don't judge me. Actually, you people are the only people that should be judging me, because you're the ones listening to me. But if you really think about it, my friends, the internet is a wonderful thing. Just remember that there are algorithms that are deciding what you listen to. Now, you can think of them as manipulating you, or you can think of it as somebody feeding you what you request. If you go to a fast food place and the fast food place has an extensive menu and a whole bunch of the stuff tastes good but unhealthy, and there's a bunch of stuff that tastes good that's good for you, well, if you go to the little face when you drive through the drive-through, it's your choice what you order. You could order the salad and the diet soda. You could order the salad and the water. You could do that with the apple slices and all of that healthy crap. Or you can get the double quadruple bacon burger with the quadruple sauce with the quadruple pig buttocks on it. You can order that. They're just going to give you what you ask for. And if you keep going to the counter and you keep ordering the same stuff, there's going to come a point in time when the people are going to know who you are. And you're going to call up, yeah, I know who this is. This is Frank. You want the quadruple pig buttocks with the cheese on them? Yeah. And you might even have called up and go, this time I'm going to order the double salad with the diet water and the low-calorie ice cubes. I'm going to order it. And you call up and you got that feeling, yes, I'm going to get the double thing. And the second the person picks up the phone, hey, Frank, you want the quadruple pig buttocks, right, with the double cheese on it and quadruple pig butt sauce? Yeah, I've been there. I mean, I'm going to the gym almost every day now, trying to get healthy again, trying to get my health back so I can get back on the stage and tell jokes to drunk people around the world. And I know what it's like to call up places. Hey, S. Anthony, you want the quadruple pig buttocks? No, I don't. I want the salad with the quadruple double diet ice cubes with the low-cal water. I want that. You sure? You don't want the deep fried pig buttocks with the double cheese sauce on it? No, dagnabbit, I'm working out. You know how dumb it would be for me to work out for an hour and a half and then order the double pig buttocks with the double cheese on them and basically just... How many calories did you burn? 900. How many calories did you just eat? 970. That would be dumb. But just like the algorithm in the internet, on any social media site, even YouTube or any of these other places, just remember, my friends, they're going to feed you what you ask for. So if you're seeing a lot of gross stuff, just remember, nowadays, with the way the algorithms are set up, it's just feeding you what you keep asking for. And you keep falling into the loop. See what people are doing in politics. Everybody falls into an echo chamber of the stuff that they agree with. But I tend to make it a point to try to find the alternate points of view. And I look at those, not completely 50%, but at least 30 or 40% of the time, I look up stuff from people that I don't agree with, who have the completely opposing view, diametrically opposing views. I'll go looking for them because I want the algorithm to know. Don't hide stuff from me just because I disagree with it. Don't do that. And don't try to force feed stuff down my throat because I know what the game is. And I know that the second if I watch one video with people punching each other in the throat, what's going to happen? I'm going to get 55 straight videos of people punching each other in the throat, and all of a sudden I'm in a throat punching mood. Oh, I don't think so. If you're going to bombard me with stuff, I would rather see videos of dogs being reunited with their owners. I would rather see videos of somebody doing something great, helping an old lady across the street. I want to see those videos. Okay, occasionally I like to see a video where a person getting chopped in the face. Okay, I'm not going to stop lying. I just don't want that to be all that I see. I just don't want that to be everything that I see. So what I'm saying right now, my friends all over the world, is something that I know you know. The internet is great and it sucks. The internet is great and it sucks. But we do have control over which one it is for us. It's not going to be all great and it's not going to all suck. But you can control the percentages a little bit. Right? Wouldn't it be great if it was 80% great and 20% sucks, just to let us know that what the real world is like? Is if you're a normal person living a normal life, if you really think about it, if nothing really bad happens to you, things are pretty good most of the time, right? Most of the time you're with your spouse, and you're just enjoying each other's company or just hanging around each other. You're not fighting. You're not getting it on. You're just hanging around. This is a great person. I picked this person to be in my life. They picked me. Your kids are probably pretty good most of the time. They act like idiots sometimes. But if you got good kids, they're pretty good most of the time, right? As soon as they start annoying you, that's when all of a sudden your son walks up to you, your daughter walks up to you, and they go, "Thanks, Mom or Dad. I'm sorry about the thing I did. I just want to say that I love you." And all of a sudden, you're not mad about that door that got slammed. Right? Because when the door got slammed, I hate you, Mom or Dad. Bam! You're just thinking about all the bad things that kid did that year, and you realize it was only about 3 of them. But they're annoying, and that's all you're thinking about right now. Oh, those 3 things you did. But when that kid comes out and says, "I'm sorry, Mom or Dad," they give you a hug. And they say, "I'm sorry, I didn't mean to do that. I won't do that anymore." And it melts your heart, and all of a sudden you're back to normal. And instead of the 3 big dumb things the kid did this year, you think about the time you woke up and he actually mowed the lawn. You didn't even have to ask him to do it. You woke up in that time when your daughter began painting the basement. You said you were going to do it, and she already started it. All of that crap, and you realize these kids are pretty good. These kids are actually pretty good. Sometimes, they're kids. Their brain's not going to be completely formed until they're 25, so I got at least 8 years with one and 10 years with the other one. But for the most part, they're pretty good. Because that's your personal algorithm. What are you choosing to think about? The good stuff or the bad stuff? You have to acknowledge that the bad stuff exists because it does. But you don't have to necessarily focus on it all the time. Right? If you were around me, if I was blessed enough to be around any of you for any length of time, you would realize that I'm a pretty positive person. I try to be that way. Not to the point where it's annoying, where like, everything's great no matter what. We literally are falling out of an airplane. Yes, but isn't this wind refreshing? It's going to be refreshing for about 14 seconds, and then we're going to bounce off the ground to our deaths. Yeah, but we're going to heaven, right? All of that. I'm not that positive. But I'm a pretty positive person to be around. And I try to surround myself with positive people. Like I said, not corny positive people, but regular positive people. People who are genuinely trying to be kind of cool. Because if you have that person around you that's always complaining, every time the phone rings, if you see their name, you can already feel the energy being dragged out of your body. And let me see what that's. It's Bill. Oh, here we go. This is not going to be good. Here we go. Hey, Bill, what's going on? My wife had that right? And then my kids at the pocket, and my boss at the job, and my neighbors, and you're sitting there, and you were 6 feet when he called, and now you're 5'4" because you feel crushed by the negativity in his punk. Right? Man, when you, hey, I'm glad you were, yeah, man, I'm glad you got that off of your chest and now put it definitely on the top of my chest because now I can hear you feeling lighter because you vented and I'm feeling all drained down with your negative, but glad I could be of service. Thanks for making me listen to that crap. Then what happens? Your other friend calls up. Jim. Hey, Jim, even as you see his name on the thing, you know you're going to have a great conversation. Everything's going to be good. Yeah, my wife did, hey, that's great. And my kids, chop, pop, scoop, pop, dop, chop, pop, bop. Oh, that's fantastic. And my neighbor, pop, chop, sippity flop, shoot, pop, chop, don't pop, bop. Hey, that's great, man. That's fantastic. Hey, man. And another thing, super don't pop, an entertaining story, super dop, pop, chop, dop, bop. Encouraging words, chop, top, pop, pop, scop, dop, bop, bop. Funny story. Now I gotta go because I don't want to overstay my welcome on the phone. Bop 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 dee bop dee bop. Dun. Bye. And when he's gone, you're like, hey man, that was great. You feel refreshed, right? So let me ask you a question. If you had to have, you don't want to get rid of the friend that complains because he's genuinely a good dude, right? He's just that he complains a lot. But if you got 2 friends like him and 10 friends like the other guy, that's a nice mixture, right? And that's the kind of, like I said, that's the kind of the way you'd want the algorithm on the computer or in your social media sites to be 80% good, 20% crap, just to keep you grounded. And as you listen to me, I'm hoping that I'm part of the 80% good stuff that you look forward to. That's the whole idea. I want you to look forward to this podcast, look forward to these smooth tones, ladies. So these smooth these smooth tones in your ears. And hopefully I could be one of the things that helps drown out or lessen the load on the other 20% of the crap that happens to you. Or unfortunately, if you're unfortunate enough to have that 20% be a much, much higher percentage, hopefully we can help you. And by we, I mean me, myself, and I, because it's just me. Hopefully we can help you smile a little bit, right? Because that's the idea. And I just want to say one last thing. Thank you for listening. I really appreciate you. I really, really do. Do me a favor, my friends. If you love this podcast, and you do, go subscribe to this podcast. If you're on Spotify and you're hearing this, do me a favor, my friends. Follow this podcast on Spotify, okay? If you're listening someplace else, subscribe to this podcast. If you're on social media, look up my name, S. Anthony Thomas. I have social media under the name, surprisingly enough, S. Anthony Thomas. Follow me on social media. And when I put up something about this podcast, do me a favor. Reblog, re-X, or whatever the hell you call it over there. Re-whatever. The links back to this podcast so we can grow the community. And hopefully we can be part of the 80% for each other, my friends. Much love to you all. And I will see you again next time. Let's all be a part of that great 80%, okay? Cool. Take care, my brothers and sisters. Take care. Much love to you. Bye.